Good morning, dear students. So I welcome you all to this ninth module of online teaching. So in this module, we will be discussing about a chapter on geometry, and the chapter title is Special Types of Quadrilaterals. So in this chapter, the main keyword is quadrilateral. So I expect all of you are quite familiar with the meaning of quadrilateral. As the name suggests, quadrilateral is a four-sided closed figure. I have tried to show some of the examples of quadrilateral. Here is one example, that is a square. One more example is rectangle, and one more example is parallelogram. So as the chapter name suggests, it's special types of quadrilaterals. So over this module or over this week, we'll be focusing on some of the special types of quadrilaterals. One such example or one such special type of quadrilateral is parallelogram. So let us begin our discussion on parallelogram. So what do you mean by parallelogram, or what the definition of parallelogram tells us is a parallelogram is a quadrilateral in which both the pairs of opposite sides are parallel. So let me just try to show what the definition reads like. So pairs of opposite sides, right? If you see what is the opposite sides of AC, it is nothing but BD. So I can say that AC and BD are parallel, and similarly what is the opposite sides of AB, that is CD. So I can say that AB and CD are also parallel. So this is what the definition of parallelogram tells us. So let us try to discuss some of the properties of a parallelogram, which reads something like this. So let us try to go one at a time. So first property tells us opposite sides are equal. So opposite sides, as I have shown you in the previous while discussing the definition as well. So AC and BD, although it is parallel by definition, but they are at the same time they are equal as well. And similarly AB and CD, by definition they are parallel, but we can also show that they are equal. And remember, dear students, we will not be able to show, or rather we will not show all these properties. We'll just assume that they hold and just try to use them when we are trying to solve some problems in the coming exercises. Okay, so let us go to the property number 2, that is opposite angles are equal. So what do you mean by opposite angles are equal is, so let us consider the angle A. So what will be the angle opposite to D, opposite to A? That will be D, right? So I can say that angle A is equal to angle D. Similarly, if I consider angle B, what will be its opposite? Its opposite will be angle C. So I can say that angle B equals to angle C. So this is what the second property tells us. So I hope the second property is clear to everyone. So let us try to go to the third property, which reads something like this. Each diagonal bisects the parallelogram. So I think most of you are familiar with what I mean by diagonal. In this case, diagonal is AD and BC. So if you see AD will bisect the parallelogram. So what I'm trying to say by bisecting the parallelogram is, the given diagonal BC will divide the entire parallelogram in two equal parts. So that will be done by AD. Since BC is also another diagonal, it will do the same thing. That is, it will divide the entire parallelogram into two equal parts. Remember, two equal parts. So that is the meaning of bisecting. In your higher classes, you will also come to know something about trisecting as well. So, but for the time being, let us focus on bisecting. So fourth property reads, the diagonal of a parallelogram bisect each other. So if you see in the diagram, your diagonals are meeting like this: A, B, C and D. So what the fourth property tells us is, they will bisect each other. So that means this part, let me use some other color, this part will be equal to this part, and similarly this part will be equal to this part. So this is the meaning of the diagonal of a parallelogram bisect each other. As I've told you, bisecting means dividing it into two equal parts. Remember, the word equal is very much important when we are discussing about bisecting something. So last but not the least, one more property is there, which reads, also if a pair of opposite sides of a quadrilateral are equal and parallel, with certainty we can tell that that quadrilateral will be a parallelogram. So what I'm trying to say by stating this property is, if I'm given randomly some quadrilateral, so that means having four sides, So if I happen to find out that those two opposite sides, this side and this side, so let me just draw it in a better manner. So let me just take it something like this, and if I have randomly like this, then if I find out that these two are parallel and equal, and so is with this case, then I can with certainty tell that this will turn out to be a parallelogram. So with this, I come to the end of some of the properties of parallelogram. All these properties I hope and expect that you have written it down on a notebook, as we are going to use it for some of the exercises problems that we are going to solve over this week. So with this, I conclude this online lecture. So thank you all of you. Hope to see you soon in class. Thank you.